I'll tell you this one story. It was just brilliant. So I'm picked up at the hotel and whisked off to their organization. And I go into the conference room, and the C-suite is present. A couple are on screen, and the CEO is asking, "Okay, Robert, we'd like you to help us reorg our leadership team." And I'm a bit caught off guard. Don't really know where to go.
How long had you been in country?
12 hours.
Okay. So this was fresh off the boat.
This is fresh off the boat. And very energetic, beautiful group of people that really want to do well. And I have no earthly idea how to really help them. I don't know the players. I don't know the context. I don't know enough about the history. I don't know enough to answer in any literate way to be able to support them. I don't even know what question to ask. And so I looked at the CEO and I asked him, I said, "Well, could you give me an idea? What does the end look like? What does the end game look like?" And he eagerly jumped up, grabs a dry erase and starts writing on the board. And first one was basically that the employees feel or believe that they have a career with the company. That sounds like pretty standard fare. Then the next one was every employee has a safe toilet. And that's kind of an odd hope or wish or goal. And he said, well, for a lot of our employees, the toilet is where their children get raped and the townships that they happen to be residing in. And that puts a sobering thought on the discussion. Everybody will have access to vegetables. Meat is readily available, but vegetables are not as readily available. All employees will have 3 meals a day. They will solve the transportation issue that is very much real in South Africa. Everybody will have access to high school. All children will have some type of daycare up until age 5. There were 9 bullet points. Very passionate, a lot of energy, all about this. The folks are very excited about these things. It was obvious that they talk about it a lot and they discuss it, and that's what they're about. This is their DNA. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, okay, that's nice, right?
Yeah, I'm sure you've hired consultants when you were at these billion-dollar companies going, come in here and tell me how to do this, and you're ready to talk bottom line and sales and margins and growth. And
exactly. When you say, well, where is it that you're going to go 10 years from now? Someone's going to give you top line revenue and the ratios, right? They had nothing to do with it. This is what they were all about. And it was very real. It was palatable. This was no game. They're very serious about this. And I said, well, what resources do you have? And there was this kind of off-the-cuff sideline comment. Oh, well, we'll move from 3.5 billion to 7 billion, and we'll move from 3,500 employees to 7,000 employees. But it was just this, yeah, so what?
Matter of fact.
Yeah, it was, this is what we do. We move, it was again, back to the waste management. This is what they do, but what they were all about was this list. And if they didn't achieve that, they were not successful. They defined everything in and around that for the people of South Africa. And it was interesting because there was a lot of that language. This is what we need to do for South Africa, right? There was this reason to exist is far beyond the P&L. And so we go down this road of how would you align that? What does that look like? And they wanted to go down the process of creating a functional org chart and to be able to grab these elements and say who's going to be the point of the champion or the point of contact to be able to make these things happen, along with making the business so they got the ability to do these things. And so I visited about almost a dozen companies, and that was a very common theme. The business is important, but it is secondary. And so as we would like to say, no margin, no mission, they get that, but they're totally sold out this is what they must do for the people of their country. And it was moving. It was just moving. And it's weird to be in a board meeting for me. I'm not, my wife was even making a couple of comments about it. I'm not a weepy guy. And so I'm in board meetings and I'm weeping. And so, I can only imagine what they're thinking. Who's the funny American down here that has watery eyes throughout the day? It was just beautiful. I'd like to be able to see American business, as Billy Graham said, he believes the next great revival will happen in the marketplace. That business leaders will take this responsibility to the nth degree of how important it is if we want our country to be able to turn, if we want the next generations to be strong, and to live out who we are called to be as God's creation.
You mentioned earlier a couple of times you've used language like they hugged, they were passionate, they cared about people. I've been to South Africa. Curious, was your experience, were they soft in their language? Were they soft in their expectations, or were they very much get it done? To me, it's almost this weird paradox. Like my experience has been that the South Africans I know are very willing to speak what's on their mind and heart and not really spare your feelings. But yet there's so much love in it that it's kind of this weird, for an American, it's been a weird experience for me.
Yeah. I could see that. So, Afrikaan being, a Dutch language, a kind of a German
mashup,
right? And so there's that let's say demeanor or that tone in their speech, that rhythm in their speech, as to what it is. But the thing is that as I'd like to be able to say, spirit knows spirit. They're so authentic, so genuine, so real, so engaged and present. That for me, I didn't hear anything that was off-putting, regardless of how it came across.
But if an American said the same thing, because
I think over here, it would be considered very direct. Maybe not politically correct. I think that might be the word we might be stumbling around.
Refreshing.
They're not worried about being politically correct. They will say it, and you're not offended by it. I'm not easily offendable to begin with, but I can understand where you're coming from. It was very genuine,
very direct language, but very genuine hearts.
Very much so. At the C12 forums, which is as you know, a board of 12 CEOs, and this one there happened to be 14 around the table, and the exchange that is across, very direct, asking very direct questions, challenging one another directly, but there was never a feel of threatened or ill-mannered. No, that didn't exist. There was this young lady. She challenged me in one of the forums in such a wonderful way. And we got into a conversation, and I did ask her a little bit of what you're asking. And she had indicated to me that there is a bit of an unwritten rule, just as there is in every culture, as a way of being, a way of living, a way of conduct. And that is that this tenet is you will honor one another, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Their job is to honor the other person. Now, there's a catch-22 to it. The expectation is that if I am doing everything I can to honor you, that you will do the same back. But if you don't, I have permission to call you on it. That's very refreshing, right? And there's no offense in that because it just seems to be a tenet of the culture. That I'm going to honor you and give you all the honor that I can. And if you don't, I'll call you on it and we'll get back on the same page and then we'll move forward. Very refreshing. So let's challenge one another. Let's say what needs to be said. Let's not be so easily offended.
Yeah.
Here we are sensitive to
that.
You breathe on it slightly the wrong way, and there's a foul being screamed.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. That's been my wife and I's experience. Our friends from South Africa, Johannesburg, Pretoria, and various countries nearby, they are not easily offended.
No.
And
if they are, they just ask.
Well, it gives them a freedom, though, to say what they want to say.
Yes.
Because they're, whereas sometimes it feels in America like if you say something wrong, you're going to be unfriended on Facebook, you're going to be blacklisted, you're going to be, you're going to be removed from a circle.
Yeah. They're unencumbered, right? We said that a little earlier. Yeah. They're unencumbered. Here, we have to wear our armor in some way because we might offend, we might be put into a position that we don't want to try to crawl ourselves out of. We don't want to be, culture canceled. We don't want to go down that road. These are very real subjects we need to be able to talk about as a people, whether it's gun control or racial issues or pro-life, pro-choice. We have to be able to talk about them as adults and human beings, accept where the person's position is coming from, and find ways of being able to do what we've been called to do. Emotion, these are big emotional subjects, but we should be adults. I should be able to share emotion with you without destroying you in the process. But we don't do that right now very well in our society.
Yeah, true.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of A Leader's Journey podcast. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to our channel.